Hey everybody, welcome back to another how-to video. This time we're diving into Rival's brand new DPS character, the red-headed Omega level telepath of the X-Men, Jean Grey, the Phoenix. Getting right into it, Phoenix is a hit-scan character, but she also has a significant amount of AoE damage from both her secondary fire and when her passive activates on the target. Her passive is essentially this little flaming Phoenix feather-looking tracer called a Spark. The tracer is applied to a target anytime Phoenix hits any enemy or enemy-placed object like Moon Knight's Ox, for example, with any attack. When the target is hit 3 times, the tracer becomes complete and an explosion dealing 44 damage occurs instantly. This explosion also gives Jean a decent but slow amount of healing after the explosion happens. With the 12 count for her ammo on her primary fire, Cosmic Flames, which does 55 body shot and 110 headshot, you can typically want to be hitting as many headshots as possible, not just because you want the critical hit damage, obviously, but also because it adds a second tracer from her passive instead of just one. So if you hit one headshot, it'll only take one more body shot to fill the passive to completion and cause an explosion. Her right click or secondary fire is Telekinesis Burst. This attack raises up 3 cylindrical blasts of fire on whatever surface you place it on, moving in the direction in which you are facing. It hits enemy 4 times if placed properly, once for when you activate it, where you activate it, 3 more times for each explosion that follows. Now keep this in mind because it's important. The first burst of fire, that blast up, actually stuns the enemy for just a second, while the others 2 inflict a slow effect. Each hit in this ability does 22 HP, which equals to 88 overall. Now, for her teleport ability, it is Telepathic Illusion, which essentially enables her to teleport roughly 7 meters and leaves behind a fiery little silhouette you see here that explodes just a moment after you teleport away, doing 55 HP. This ability can also be used on her flight, which brings us to Dark Descent, which allows her to increase her speed and fly around freely, similar to the Human Torch, with the one downside of not being able to attack with her primary fire, secondary fire, without ceasing the flight. For melee, I love this little detail that Phoenix flies in front of her and is the only one meleeing. This attack does 38 damage and can be used in combos very well. Her ult, extremely cool looking and fun to use. Jean flies up into the air and becomes invulnerable, taking the shape of a giant phoenix. Once you hit left click and start your flying maneuver, she has 400 HP and can be removed from her phoenix form. A direct hit from her ult does 155 damage, and the shockwave that you see afterwards emitted from her ult does another 55. The shockwaves go through walls in the map and it goes out pretty damn far, as you can see. One thing about her ult is that it also completely wipes away shield, overhealth, and enemy placed objects. Our ultimate attack also leaves behind a tracer like every other attack in her kit, so be mindful. It's best to probably use this ult on a group of people where you've already placed 2 tracers on more enemies, on 1 or more enemies, so you can complete the passive with your ult. If you do that, you instantly obliterate any 250 HP characters. Taking into account its destruction of deployables, it's great for even canceling a rocket ult, and if you do it at the right time, you can kill him right when he pops it while you're at it. Now we're going to start getting into a little bit more nitty-gritty crazy shit. So you're basically going to be using her melee to cancel your shots in most, if not all, of your combos to maximize your damage per second. Another thing you should do is activate hold to start Dark Descent, because you want to do this so you can cancel your flight, which you can do in between combos. Some people are saying that you can cancel her flight when using her melee just to melee faster, like when you're only using melee. It kind of looks like this here, and I think it's working. I'm not sure if I'm doing it properly, but it looks like she's speeding up her melee a little bit. Normally it looks like this. Pretty decently slow, right? And then it can look like this otherwise. For the melee cancel, it's about as standard as you would expect. Your primary fire and then quickly cancel the firing animation with your melee attack. By the way, this is best done if you are able to bind your melee to a side button on your mouse. It should look like this. Go ahead and practice a little bit to get the timing right. After you do that, practice spamming your E, canceling the flight in between after hitting a bunch of the tracers on your enemy doing the melee cancel combo. If you spam the flight in between this, you actually reload your ammo before you can even get any chance to reload. So essentially, you should really never be reloading on Phoenix if you're in the middle of a team fight. You could just be spamming this combo, especially if you're at close range or if the tank is trying to run you down. Spam your melee cancel with your primary fire, and then if you're getting low or halfway to your ammo, spam your flight cancel, in between. If you do this, you'll notice that in the bottom left, you'll gain 2 little bits of ammo every time you spam the flight cancel. A really good combo that you'll want to be doing definitely on 250 or maybe even 300 health opponents is doing the primary fire melee primary fire melee, so you'll do the cancel combo twice, and then immediately after you'll want to use your teleport ability because it does that a little bit of extra explosive damage. If you do the melee primary fire cancel twice and then the teleport on 250 HP opponents, they die instantly. So that is you basically closest to one-shot combo. You want to be learning that for sure once you get the chance to maybe even do some crazy flank Phoenix bullshit and you want to get in there, kill a healer, and then get right back out. But essentially you should never really be on the flank because Phoenix is a poke character. Now that you know the bread and butter for increasing her damage output, we can talk a little bit more about how you should play her in-game relative to other characters. Her damage drop-off is essentially worse than Hela's, which means if you're on a 1v1 with her at far range and she's not missing, she will kill you quicker than you can kill her. So you can play Phoenix a little bit in the back, but Phoenix is best utilized at a mid-close range, mostly mid. Using her passive healing through applying the Spark Tracer to as many enemies as you possibly can is essential, and it'll be the one key thing probably keeping you alive when you are in the thick of it, and your teleport or your flight are absent. Be aware of her survivability in that sense and be wise about it because she takes space very well and can easily be the single backup that a fellow tank needs in a push. She is best when targeting larger groups of people, and if the enemy is grouped up, especially the tanks always take the opportunity to stack the Spark Tracers and damage them all. Remember, the Tracers are applied to any enemy that is hit by any one of her attacks, so even the explosion that occurs from the passive being complete applies another Tracer itself to another enemy next to the explosion. Another thing about her survivability is in both team fights and 1v1s is that her teleport is pretty damn amazing. While timed right, you can pretty much escape like anyone diving you, an ultimate attack, and basically any lethal blow that you need to get away from. Since the cooldown isn't excessive, you don't always need to be thinking about using this teleport offensively like in the combos mentioned earlier, unless if your team is aggressively on the offensive. Phoenix is a great mid-range anti-dive character. You can farm larger hitbox characters. I've noticed there are certain dive characters also that can be a bit of a nuisance to Phoenix, even though she's kind of anti-dive, or at least has the utilities to deal with them. Well, when they take off angles and force you to use all of your mobility, then you might just end up dead or having a little bit more trouble if you're missing shots as well, especially if they're coordinated with their team so that your heals aren't really focused on you, they're healing the tanks while they're getting pushed back. She plays really well with dive tanks on her team also, since she stops supports from grouping up with their team after being dove on. Also, remember that the first blast of fire from her right click stuns, so that comboed with anyone else's grab or stun, you can basically stack those with your teammates to obliterate somebody. If you ever see your team's Emma or Wolverine grab somebody and take them out of position, always try to follow up, help them with your right click, potentially if you have it, hit him with the stun, and then follow up with massive damage explosion afterwards. Furthermore, understanding how she counters, you can look to how well she takes out any character that has too slow mobility to reach her, like Groot for example. She can essentially just keep laying shots into these really large hitbox, slow-moving characters and essentially melt them. Loki clones also become a detriment, as similar to Moon Knight, she can utilize the number of them to her advantage by stacking her Spark Tracers onto them and then causing explosions to nearby enemies, anybody near these clones. One other thing you want to avoid is continuing to poke or try and kill a character that is receiving direct healing from maybe Rocket's bubbles or the Ultron drone, as both can be very annoying to try and kill past quickly. It might just eat your time up, so you're better off switching your targeting or waiting till the heals focus on somebody else. With Jean, don't take too much to heart the intense amount of damage she can do mid-range. You can basically get to top 500 by just poking, just practice aiming at the right characters. And honestly, I think that about wraps it up. A lot of the most basic and advanced information I could give you is all there. And I hope that you can use it very well to help you rank up in your competitive games, or just to have a little bit more fun stomping your enemies in quick play. Because, hey, I am a fan of doing that as well. If there's anything you guys think I missed or if I got wrong, please leave a comment down below in the comments section. If you like the video, please sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're looking for more kind of content like this as well. With the funny meme editing Marvel Rivals.exe videos I put out about twice a week, you can go check those out as well. There will be a link to the playlist in the description as well and at the end of the video. Also, we just got our memberships launched with 4 different tiers starting at $1.99 a month. For the lowest tier, go check those out and see all the different perks. Go look where you can subscribe to a membership on my channel right now if you're able to and looking to show more support. Now that we're at the end of the video, I just want to give an even bigger thank you to everybody watching this far, all the people who subscribe and been supporting me up until this point. This journey on YouTube has been great for me this far, and I hope I can keep growing, helping out fellow gamers and pop culture enjoyers seek joy and information to help make their lives easier. So with that being said, I love you guys. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.